All right. So, Nia, for you, what committed way of being really is tugging at you today?
The one that's popping up right away as I'm thinking about it is pay attention to what has heart and meaning. The I've been really focusing lately on what matters to me
Mhm.
because I think I'm recalibrating to that in a more powerful way than I have in a while, especially around my work.
And so, how do you want to recalibrate that for today?
I want to keep it turned up to 11, like let's crank that up. Because I have I have a propensity to get excited about everybody else's stuff,
Mm.
and that leaves not as much energy for my stuff. And that I met I hit a line a week ago or 2 weeks ago, somewhere in the last couple of weeks, somewhere. There was like all of a sudden this line, and I'm like, yep, I'm done with that. Like I don't want that anymore. I'm glad to be all about other things, but I also need to launch my own stuff, which I've been very reticent to do for a while, and I'm not feeling that same reticence anymore.
Mm. So, if you were up at an 11, um, what would it sound like or be like?
um, it's really funny. I'm glad you asked sound because I heard like like a crystal, like when a chime is like it's just that clear. It's like, ding, I know who I am. It's resonant.
How does that play out in a coaching session?
Mm, that's a good question. I think it's coming back to like, I think I need to pay attention to those moments where my truth is arising and that I can lay claim to it. Even if I'm not sure what I want to do with it, that I can go, no, that's worth paying attention to.
If you pay attention to it, does it get to an 11 or where does it go?
I think the paying attention to it is already an 11.
Okay.
I think that's the 11. I don't think it's it. I think it's the act of acknowledging what I already know. Because I think it's always going off.
Hmm.
I just kind of push it over there and go, well, I'll get to that on Thursday. so so now it's like I'm tired of that. So what is this telling me that I don't want to ignore anymore?
So, what have you been working on since last time we coached that is
Oh, so much. I feel like honestly, so much. But I think the big thing is I had some clarity on I don't even know if I have it right here because my desk is like a disaster. I don't, but I um, reworked my intention,
Mhm.
which the big piece about it, it's not so much what the intention is, but what made the difference in reworking my intention was I realized that I don't lack confidence, don't lack what I'm doing. What I've been really struggling with and I've failed to acknowledge is that I need um all the good that I'm putting out generously in the world to be coming back to me at that same level of generosity. So it's like a complete circle. And it's like I keep feeling a resistance, and that's causing me not to put things out. It's jamming up the works. And I don't think that it's not there. And
Mhm.
it's not that I haven't seen, it's that somewhere there's been like a lack of welcoming of it to myself. Like it's not really about worth, but it's like um, the best way I could put it is it's almost like I was waiting for permission to be able to do it, which is dumb because the only permission I needed was for myself. And so like that was the intention. That was the energy. And ever since then, it's like things have been just much more open. I feel much more clear about what I need to do.
So where are the places that you can definitely say, I know who I am? Because
Mm. Well, I think in my work, that's becoming like I was kind of trying to manage to make myself taste good to everybody, make myself, palatable to the world. And what I realize is that I might be an acquired taste to some, and that's okay, but it shouldn't prevent me from sharing and being open and being honest. And I've been doing some new things with a networking group, with some other aspects of my business, and ever since I decided this, and ever since I've been working in this the last few weeks, like these amazing opportunities and feedback are coming back to me in ways that are in that same level of abundance coming back, just like I asked. And I'm like, well, that's not so hard. So I'm seeing it in my professional business, in my partnerships, my engagement with people. I'm seeing it in my family, and in my community. And so, yeah, it just feels like there was some sort of switch that flipped.
what are you concluding, sorry.
No, that's I like concluding too. That would be a good word.
Well, we can
Um, Concluding, what am I concluding? I would say that um the is that I've been my own barrier,
Mm,
and I have been looking outside of myself to fix something that was entirely mine to fix. And it's not that it was broken, it's just to realign. Let's put it that way. It's not like I was like a mess. It just needed to be like, let's just be willing to try this. And so that's been a big shift.
nice. How does it lead us into what you want to talk about today?
Yeah, it does. And so I think what I am wanting to talk about today is um I have a lot of things that I have ideas for. And let me just pause for a minute because I had it in my head. Now it's like multiple things because of what we were talking about. And um I think what I am wanting to work on, or to be able to kind of work through, is I'm feeling all of this and I still feel like this old drag of an image of who I think I am. And I feel like there is a new image emerging of who I'm becoming. And I need to engage with her more and to start to see that and allow that to come forward so that I have a clear picture of who I'm being pulled to be, if
Hmm.
that makes sense. I need like it makes sense to me. It's like I need a compelling vision, and it's not just an idea, but what are some things that will help me see that and understand why it's important to me?
So, a compelling vision of who you are becoming.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you, what part of that do you get stuck in that's worth checking out in a coaching session?
I think what I get stuck in is these old like stories of um like I don't know if I don't yet know how to be her. It's like it feels so far away, and so I don't really let myself envision it. I just kind it's like out here in the ether a little bit. If that it's like it's a mirage,
Mm,
and it needs to be more real. It needs to be more defined. And I think there are some pieces that I would love to just kind of see can start to be refined so that it, instead of being vague and I can kind of ignore it or push away from it, that it's pulling me in to want to learn more. That
Mm.
that's I think what I would be really helpful for me, because it's very easy to fall into old patterns,
So
old beliefs.
what do those old stories do that keep you from that envisioning?
They hold an energy of that's not for you, so don't go look there. Like, you don't have it together. It's kind of like when, this whole, and this is just an image, I don't really think about her very much, but in my 20s I did. Martha Stewart, like, don't even bother because you can never be Martha Stewart, right? Even though you want to cook like that, even though you want to do this, it's not even worth looking because you don't belong there. And there's some aspect of that. And I honestly don't even know if it's mine or it's just what I grew up in,
Mm-hmm.
that it's like opting out rather than opting in,
Mm.
than taking that risk to see. And the last year I've been testing that a bit, and I still think I feel that, like, these are inches and I kind of would like to see something a little bit more compelling versus inches. Like, oh, I can inch my way into it, or I can see that I can kind of see a more full picture.
How far away do you think you are from getting clarity?
Maybe 3 or 4 yards.
Mm.
But when I'm looking at inches, when I'm like in this kind of field, that feels like a long way. But I feel like a little bit of a perspective adjustment might help me see that it's not that big a deal.
And what's really motivating you to try to figure this out?
Well, I feel energized and excited about some of the things that I am in the process of finally getting launched and getting done, that I've been thinking about for a while. And I don't think the woman who I've been is going to, I need to get past, so I'm not a drag on my dream.
Mm.
I don't want to be the drag. I want to be energized and ready, even if I'm wanting to throw up every other minute. I don't care, that I'm willing to do it. That I just don't want to be a drag on my own dream anymore.
So if you figure out who that person is, if you're not a drag on your dream, what are
Mhm.
you?
I'm the igniter. I'm the ignition. I'm turning it on and turning it up to 11. I
What's
love
going
that
to
reference.
tell you at the end of the coaching session that you're the igniter?
Um, I think it'll feel, I think I will feel it more here than here. I know, like, like this fuzzy thing out here, I think it'll be, and that's usually where my knowing is anyway, is inside me. It's like a strong core. And I know it, I hold that knowing for a lot of other people
Hmm.
very easily. Um, and that's part of my business too, is holding that knowing for other people, but I want to reclaim that for myself. And so I think I'll have that feeling more so than what I've been having, which is like up here and kind of, it's interesting that I started out by massaging that area too. I'm realizing that. Hmm.
Okay, so before we move any further, I just want to make sure
Mhm.
that and you want to leave with the feeling moving from your head to, is it your chest, your heart, your gut,
My heart, my core, let's say my core.
and that's this place of moving from the old drag image
Mhm.
to a compelling vision of your future self.
Mhm.
when you think about doing that work and really getting to this place of igniter, what question keeps you from it?
What if I'm not who I think I am?
I'm just going to write this down, Nia, so we can come back to it. What if I am not who I think I am? What would be important or useful in getting out of exploring that question?
I think I might get at, I feel like that question is like a blanket on my soul. And it's blocking me from seeing something, maybe truth or reality about who I am. And it's been comforting because then I don't have to show up, but I think I'm ready. I think I want to see it differently. So I think I get a chance to see what maybe is under that blanket.
When you think about the question, what if I'm not who I think I am? Where does it hang out inside of you?
Kind of like here on my right chest, like above maybe I think that's where your heart is. I don't know, but right there, right? Um, it feels, it actually feels not deep in, but it feels like a surface, almost like a piece of armor.
Hmm. How does it communicate with you?
Like a gripping catch. That's what it feels like, kind of like a little electric shock. And it's like, don't get too big for your britches. Don't do that. It's like a catch. It's like
Mm-hmm.
that. Huh.
What's the tone of that communication?
I don't know if it's a tone. I don't know if this is a technical tone, but it's kind of terse and snarky.
And what does it want from you?
Mm. It wants me to be safe.
Mm. How willing are you to pull it outside of yourself to see what it looks like?
I'm willing.
So, could you draw what it looks like?
Yeah, I think so. Mhm.
Yeah, when you look at it outside of yourself, what does it look like?
It looks like a jewel.
If the jewel could speak, what would the jewel say to you?
I should be green is what it's saying. Is I'm an emerald, which is funny. That it's how does it know it's an emerald? It knows it's an emerald. Um, and that it's not as hidden as you think it is.
What's the message behind the green?
I think it has a lot to do with the heart. I think it feels like it's in the wrong place.
What would it feel like if it was in the right place?
I think it would shine brighter, and it might make more sense. Because right now it feels like I was feeling this, looking at this looks different, even though I drew it, how I saw it. When I was here, it feels like a shield, like a protection. And I feel like if it moved closer to center, closer to where my heart is, it would shine. And it would feel like an amplifier rather than kind of out of sight, like out of alignment, out of sight, unexpected. What's it doing over here on my shoulder? It doesn't make sense.
Hmm. Can you turn the picture 90 degrees?
Mhm.
And what does it look like sideways?
It looks like a coffin a little bit. Um, feels like, but really it looks like it's like there's a motion to it moving forward as though it's kind of rolling, bumbling down a hill, and the hill's turning upward and outward. And because it's square, that's what I mean by bumbling. It's like it's gonna fall, but it looks like it's rolling. It's moving down this hill, and it's kind of in that point where it's at a shifting point from down to it's not really clear if it's going upward. It's not really clear the direction, if it's going upward or just outward, because the line ends.
What's it saying to you as it's moving?
I'm saying that I'm picking up speed. That's what it's saying. It's like I'm moving. I'm moving.
What kind of emotion is it behind the
Feels like forward, and it feels like it's getting ready to really pick up speed. There's definitely a shift in direction.
as it's saying that I'm picking up speed, what kind of emotion is behind it? Excitement, fear? What would you say that is?
Hmm. I think there's a little bit of fear, but it's more like just, I don't know where this is going. So it's not necessarily confusion, it's kind of like anticipation and uncertainty and excitement all bundled up. But there also seems to be like a um an inner direction in this that it's like it's deep at the core. It this I'm seeing the direction kind of reveal itself at the core of this, and that's forward, forward, upward. I didn't see that before.
Can you turn it upside down, Nia?
Mm-hmm.
What does it look like upside down?
It reminds me of something. I'm not sure what, but it looks like a space pod. Like it's gonna take off. Uh, and it
Where,
looks like it's interesting. It looks like it's kind of held. It's also like it's got its spot. There's something about the spot that is really important. It's kind of in this niche, which is funny as I'm saying that, I'm laughing. I think about business and niche, but it's in this like little crevice and it's kind of tucked in there. It's not, it's in the right space to be able to do whatever this is, whether it's takeoff or if this is the place it's going to be, this is what it feels like.
so what's it telling you as it sits there or being held?
I think it made some good decisions. I think it's like that there's good things with that I'm both supported and that there's a readiness for whatever is coming.
Can you turn it one last time? What do you see?
I feel like everything is like it's like pushing against a threshold. This pod, this thing that I whatever it is, this pod, this heart, what this gem is pushing outward with really strong force. Like all the things that were going one way before are now all the energy is moving towards pushing through this threshold. And it's again upward and outward.
What's on the other side of the threshold?
I don't know.
What's causing the push?
The the energy inside this vessel. The push is from within, it's not outside of it. It's all inward and then that's pushing outward. So it's pushing out and it's very strong and very capable and ready to put like it if I'm seeing it at the threshold, but I think it'll push through.
And what's it saying to you?
maybe I do know something. And it's worth taking from inside and bringing it outside. It's not even maybe, I do know something and it's worth it. It's really strong. And I consider this visual is really powerful for me. It's even more powerful when I think about, like, I'm doing this right now. I'm just going to add this green in here. Because that color really captures the energy and the beauty and the capability instead of it just being this bland, boring outline. There's something to this, there's substance.
How do you want to use that information? What's a substance for?
I think it's, I think the substance, like it's, I think it's important to share. I don't know that I always know what it's for. But if it isn't shared, it won't be for anything. So I don't have to manage what it's for, but I do have to share it.
So Nia, we started with this place of the question of what if I'm not who I think I am,
Mhm,
and seeing what's underneath the blanket of that question.
mhm.
And can I read back your answers and
Yeah,
sharing your conclusions of what maybe themes show up for
yeah,
you?
yes.
So you started out with that it looked like a jewel and it should be green and that it's in the wrong place, that it would be amplified if it was moved. Um, that it would shine brighter and make more sense. And then you moved to, first it looked like a coffin, but then you adjusted that to, it just looks more like this bumbling box kind of thing down a hill, saying that it's picking up speed. It's a combination of anticipation, uncertainty, and excitement, and it's forward motion. It's going deep at the core, moving forward but upward. And then you went to the space pod and it's taking off, but it's being held in this crevice. It's tucked in, it's in the right space. It's made for something good. It's supported. There's a readiness for whatever is coming. And then that it's pushing up against a threshold, that you don't know what's on the other side of the threshold, but there's an energy and it's very strong and capable. And I do know something that's worth sharing and talking about. When you hear all that, what are the themes that really stick out to you?
I think the piece about the thing that the gem, the jewel, and that it being like a green stone really sticks out. Um, and the other piece that just jumps out at me is that it's not in the right spot. Like if I just shift it to the right spot, it shines. You know, that I really, that feels like so, that resonates so deeply with me. And then the other piece about it's like that I've been so busy, like that whole piece about rolling down the hill and kind of bumbling, but I'm, like I haven't been doing things haphazardly, that I've actually been learning and refining and figuring out what I'm doing. And I think what's interesting is that I just really got clear when I was laughing about the niche thing, because I just got really clear on like my niche. I'm like, I've been working at this a while, and now I see it differently. And so that got clear. And then this whole piece, like that it's upward and outward, this constant, there's a lot of motion with this whole thing. And the motion doesn't feel stuck at all. It feels like things are, even when it's bumbling, it's moving. And I feel like everything's kind of like lining up in a ready state. And my inclination, my instinct about pushing thresholds, pushing against things, this kind of reframe that for like, yeah, I'm doing that, but it's okay that I don't always know why. That I have a desire to share something that may not make sense, or that it doesn't, like, I don't have to wait. It's not for me to figure it out ahead. I can just keep moving forward. That was the other piece that popped up.
So you ended with, it's okay that I don't need to know it all to keep moving.
Mhm,
That
mhm,
niche, the upward and outward, the gem, the greenstone, just not in the right spot.
mhm.
How do those influence that question of what if I'm not who I think I am?
Well, I think I've been looking at the wrong thing. I think I think the fact that even when I drew this and it turned immediately to something else, I think I'm looking at things wrong. Like I've been looking at it as a burden, this thing on my shoulder, this feeling, or like when I looked at it, it looked like a barrier. And really, it's not. It's something resilient and beautiful. And it's just not in the right spot. And so it's not, what if I'm not who I think I am? It's what if I am who I think I am?
And how does that serve you?
Well, it's the better question. It's the more, it's like dancing around something, or focusing on the symptoms rather than the root issue. The root issue isn't, like, I'm asking the wrong question. And one is having to prove something, and one is evocative. Like, what if I am who I think I am? What if I am who I think I am? Well, what if that is true? That means I don't have to prove it first. I can just imagine it.
And so, what comes to mind when you imagine it?
Mm. I th What comes to mind is that I am okay because I am who I think I am. Like that okayness, which sounds so lame. That word is always sold in. I'm okay. But it's that piece of I I can trust who I am. And there's room for me in the world, just as I am. And it's really, that means that I'm unfettered. I don't have to walk around trying to make myself fit. I can just be my own unique puzzle piece in the world. That's okay. Or my own green gemstone in the world.
And how clear does that get you to that compelling vision of self?
Well, I will tell you that what I'm seeing is like a lot of light. When I envision this part of myself, and then I just see that green energy, that emerald energy, like right over my heart. And that just feels like I can't, like I'm coming back to myself. And that feels good. And
What
it doesn't feel like, oh my God, Nia's the best. It's not that. It's just knowing myself. It's that feeling that, and that is good.
how does that feeling interact with the old stories?
I wasn't even thinking about it, which is good. Um, Honestly, I can't even pull them up right at the moment, which is interesting. Like it feels like that being off center,
Mhm.
that energy being off center, I was carrying it around wrong. It was like out of alignment, so therefore it was in question. And now there's no question.
What does it look like when it's carried around right?
It's really beautiful. It's really big. Um, it's like takes up space and it's radiant and bright. It's inviting, and it's also maybe blinding to some, and that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Because everybody has choices. But yeah, I'm not necessarily everyone. It doesn't mean I have to turn it down.
So, how close are you to that vision of self?
I can see it really clearly. And that feels like what I was. This exercise, this really helped me to reframe something that I don't think I had words for, but the feeling piece of it, like that shift to my heart,
Mhm.
it's almost like a mental thing. Like I can't explain it, but that shift and experiencing the fullness of what I've been like calling it wrong, not acknowledging it, um, feels like what I didn't even know I wanted that I got. So I feel really close. I feel like I have a compelling vision.
What does
I
it
also
allow?
have a compelling feeling, which is even better because I trust my feeling in my body more than I even trust my imagination.
What does that feeling allow you to do? Or can I change the question?
Hmm.
What does that feeling allow you to be?
There are like all these words and none of them are hitting it. But for lack of I'm going to use unfettered, because it's free, but it's more than that. It's confident, it's more than that. It's willing, it's more than that. It's like all these things. And I think I'm willing, I'm resilient, I'm resonant, and I'm resolute.
And because of that, what are you capable of doing that maybe in those old stories you couldn't do?
I think push into new territory and show up and be okay with the possibility that I don't make sense, that I'm ahead of the curve, that I'm not everyone's cup of tea. But it also invites in the fact that I might be some people's cup of tea. And I never thought about that part of it. I was so busy thinking about who I'm not going to be palatable for, be appealing to, that I didn't think about all the people that I might be able to serve. And now that feels more clear.
And so, what's the truth or heart and meaning that's being served up to you?
I think the theme of the month is, Nia, you just keep getting in your own damn way. I mean, but really, I mean, like it feels like there are all these huge things, but almost everything that I'm experiencing lately feels like that experience that I was talking about, well, it's just here, it's not in the right place. Oh, what if we move it here? Oh, okay. It's not big lifts, it's not huge work, it's not all this stuff. I've done a lot, and it feels like, am I willing to take a second look and see something that I wasn't able, capable, or willing to see before? And it's not that it's brand new, it's been there. It's just I needed to be able to do that, to be in that willingness.
So, when you think about what you've shared, how close did you get to your goal?
Um, I got better than what I thought I wanted, honestly. I thought what I wanted was a compelling vision. What I got was literally an awareness that allowed me to shift into a different energy that I wasn't anticipating. Um, I thought it would be a lot more work, and it wasn't.
And what do
So
you need
yeah,
to keep it there?
I think I'm gonna go out and see if I can find this stone. It's not gonna be this big probably, but I might have to
Best you could.
paint something. But I think I need to find something green that I wear regularly over my heart. I have a lot of blue, and I feel like green is something I need to find as a reminder um, for myself. And I may have to create some sort of image that I have that as well.
Mm. When are the times when that is most pertinent to be sitting over your heart?
I think whenever I'm engaging in working on my own things, and especially I think at the start of my day, that I have some sort of thing that I pull in because um, that's when I prioritize my day. And that reminds me that I need to be at the top of that priority list. And how am I allocating my time, my energy, my resources in that way? So I think that that's going to be, I might even take that green into my calendar so that I have time of what am I working on? So I'm blocking all of my personal creation time as green. I
So,
think that makes sense.
what will be your first step?
Um, I think what I can commit to in the next, 24 hours, which I think I need to put something into place, is I'm going to set aside time every day in a green block on my calendar um, from now for as long as I can as time for me to check in with myself and set myself as a priority, make sure I'm doing that as a practice.
And in that check in, what's going to tell you that you're nailing it or not?
Um, I think that I'll have to do a check-in like every day with how well did yesterday go, and what is that, what was the thing that got in the way, what is the thing that I'm wrestling with, because it will come up. there's always conflicts and things like that. And there are things that are out of my control, but what can I choose? I think is going to be an important part of that.
And how would you like to close out?
I think, well, I just did a nice sigh. I'm going to do another one and a stretch. That was good. It was a lot of heavy lifting in a great way. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.